Hey guys, welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Bakewell Tart. And all good Bakewell Tarts start with a nice sweet short crust pastry dough. Enjoy the video guys, hit like and subscribe. 100 grams of cold cubed butter. In the food processor we have 200 grams of plain sifted flour. Sugar's going in. Guys, we're going to pulse that until you get a sort of sandy breadcrumb. And there you go, a fine breadcrumb mix, and now you know you're ready to add the egg. Pulse that again until the dough starts to come together. That's come together. And I did have to use a tablespoon of water. Tip out your dough onto a cold, clean work surface or chopping board. Lightly as possible into a small circular ball, and then you can wrap it in cling film and get it chilled up in the fridge. As you can see, I've wrapped it into a tightly packed ball, and it's still nice and cold. But it's very important now to wrap that in cling film and get it in the fridge to let the butter set again, and that will help prevent cracking when rolling out. The dough is wrapped and ready to go in the fridge. Okay guys, so once the pastry's in the fridge chilling, we might as well get on and make the Frangipane. And I've started with 110 grams of slightly salted butter, and I'm going to whisk that until creamy. Okay, so once your butter looks like that, you're then going to go in with 110 grams of caster sugar. And now this is much like the start of a cake. You beat that together again until smooth, light and fluffy and creamy. It's nice and creamy now, light and pale, and now we're going to add the eggs in. As you can see, eggs are in. Now let's blend it. Right, as you can see, we've blended that well, and don't be concerned if at the moment your mixture looks very runny and like bad scrambled eggs. That's not a problem. We're going to add some flour in a minute, but first we've got to add some almondy flavour. So I go with 1/4 teaspoon of almond essence, extract of almond. And quick top tip, use proper measuring spoons. It makes all the difference in baking. So when you've got your spoon, get that into the mixture. So going into that mixture now, we're going to get 110 grams of ground almonds in there. So as you can see, almonds are really well incorporated. Now, 25 grams of flour and 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. So flour's is in, and what you're left with is a lovely silky mixture with no lumps of flour or almonds in. A word of advice, if you have doing a dinner party and you want to make this, you can make the Frangipane up to 3 days ahead and store it covered with cling film in the fridge. But if you can, make it on the day as it will be fresher, but it won't be a problem leaving it in that fridge. So this is the Frangipane done, and now we're going to line the tart case and get the Bakewell Tart filled up. So guys, as you can see, I've greased and lined my tin. And here I've rolled out my sweet short crust pastry. Quite impressed with. As you can see, if you follow that recipe, you shouldn't get any cracks in your pastry if you chill it for the right amount of time. If you don't want to use extra flour, you can put a piece of greaseproof paper on and roll it from there, and it will not stick. And then once you're done, peel back the paper. And now we're going to put that into the 23 centimetre or 9-inch fluted tart case. So guys, there's the lined tart case. If it does split, putting it into the tin, because it is quite difficult. As you can see, there was a little split there. I've just patched it up, and then I've pushed it right into the flute to get the nice fluting effect. And then any excess, if you just run a rolling pin across with a bit of force, all the excess will hang off. Now, really important to get that into the fridge as soon as possible, because it will start to lose that rigidity in the butter, so you want the butter to set before we blind bake. While the pastry's been chilling, the oven's been preheating to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's our pastry case, and what I did is I prodded it all over with a fork, and this will stop it getting big air bubbles in when it blind bakes. So guys, this is how we blind bake. We've cut off some greaseproof paper to fit the tin, and then all we do there is use some rice, or if you have them like I do, some baking beans to push it down into the tart tin, and then that needs to go into the oven for 10 minutes, and the greaseproof paper just stops the sides browning too much, and after 10 minutes you need to take out the paper. So yeah, 10 minutes in the oven. That's had its 10 minutes, it's time to get it out and do the next stage of the bake. Paper's out, again it's going in. So guys, as you can see, it's baked, and now we're going to put the strawberry jam in. And we've got about 105 grams of Bon Moment strawberry jam. The traditional recipe is with raspberry, but I'm not a big fan, so I'm going to use strawberry today. There we go, a nice even covering of strawberry jam, and once you've done that, you can put your Frangipane in. So there guys, Frangipane is spread, and now you could just put it in the oven like that, but personally I like to add a bit of fresh fruit, and so here we got 60 grams of fresh raspberries that you just push deep into the Frangipane. I've studded it with the raspberries, and now it's ready to go. And now you want to bake that in the oven for about 35 minutes, or until risen, golden and set. At about 10 minutes I like to sprinkle some flaked almonds. As you can see, pretty nice bake on that, and that's when it looks like that guys, you know you're ready to do the last stage. So very easy, just dribble, scatter on your flaked almonds. In the other bowl we've made our glacé icing, 50 grams of icing sugar with half a juice of a lemon, and just mix that all together and you get a nice runny mixture. So I put the glacé icing on. Now if you wanted a Mr. Kipling cherry Bakewell you could eat that now, but I'm going to put it back in the oven for 5 minutes just to caramelise on its own. So after putting the almonds on, that went back in for 10 minutes, and as you can see, a lovely brown even bake, and the almonds have started to go toasted, and you get a lovely caramelising of the sugar, and that's ready to go. So you need to leave that to cool and set up a little bit until you serve it if you want it warm. So there it is, the finished Bakewell Tart. I've taken it out the tin and put it on a serving plate and used a palette knife to get it off the bottom as well. It should come out easily as long as you leave it to cool for about 5 minutes. If you like your Bakewell Tart hot, then by all means cut into that. Should do about 8 to 10 slices. If you want it warm, either with custard, if it's the winter. My personal favourite is a scoop of vanilla ice cream, but you can also have it cold. Thanks for watching the video guys, and be sure to hit like, subscribe and comment with any recipes, any suggestions on what you'd like me to make next.